So, new day, new lesson. So, tayo mga anak ay nasa lesson 2 pa rin, pero this time 2D. Okay, so ito na po yung last way ng solving quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula. So, di ba, yung pinakauna natin is by extracting square roots. The next one is by factoring. The third one, yung last video about completing. So, ito na po yung last way natin of solving quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's start na agad. So, ito yung tinatawag natin mga anak na quadratic formula. So, we have x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so i-apply na natin siya agad. Let's have our first example. Ay, bago yung example pala, ito po yung mga steps na susundin natin when solving a quadratic equation by using the quadratic formula. Okay, so step number 1, kailangan daw mga anak yung equation natin ay isusulat natin in standard form. So, marunong na kayo nun kasi yun po yung pinaka-first lesson natin. Next, after writing it in standard form, identify natin yung values ng A, B, and C. So, yun po ay nasa pinaka-unang lesson din natin. And the third one is isi-substitute daw natin these values in the quadratic formula. Okay? So, let's start na agad with example number 1. Sabi dito mga anak, solve x squared plus 2x is equal to 3. Gagamitin natin yung quadratic formula natin. Okay? So, step 1, sabi, susulat daw natin yung equation in standard form. So, as you can see, hindi pa ito naka-standard form kasi sa standard form, kailangan yung constant ay nasa left side din. Okay? So, marunong na kayo niyan. So, dahil si positive 3 ay tatawid doon sa kabila. Oh, wait, hindi pala ako nakapen. Sorry naman, ayan. Si 3 ay tatawid doon sa kabila, kaya po siya magiging negative 3. Okay, so kung natatandaan nyo ang standard form, quadratic term, linear term, constant is equal to 0. Okay, so after writing yung ating given equation in standard form, identify na natin the values of A, B, and C. So ito na yung standard form natin. Madali na lang yung A, B, and C kasi na-discuss na natin yun before. So your A is equal to 1. So yung A natin na nasa standard form, that is the numerical coefficient of x squared. Next, B naman, your B is positive 2. B is the numerical coefficient of x. And your C naman is the constant, which is in this case negative 3. Okay, so we're done agad with step number 1. So let's sa standard form. Step number 2, identify the values of A, B, and C. So step number 3 na tayo agad. Substitute na natin yung mga values ng A, B, C doon sa ating tinatawag na quadratic formula. So ito yung standard form. Na-identify na natin the values of A, B, and C. Now, substitute natin dito sa ating quadratic formula. So papalitan natin one by one. So, as you can see, ito na siya. Mukha lang siyang mahirap tignan mga anak, pero madali lang yan, okay? So, yung mga color pink, yun po yung mga variables na pinalitan na natin, okay? Lahat ng hindi variables, yung A, B, and C, yun yung, yung A, B, and C, yun lang yung papalitan. Lahat ng hindi variable, the negative sign, the square root, the positive and negative, kopyahin lang, okay? So, ito, si negative, kopyahin nyo lang. Ang papalitan nyo lang ay si B, yung variable A, B, and C lang kasi papalitan natin. So, saan ang galing si 2? Ito, anak. Yung ating value ng B, palitan. Copy plus minus, copy square root. Again, palitan si B, that is 2 squared, copy. Minus 4, copy lang yun mga anak ha. Yun po kasi ay kasama sa formula natin. Ang papalitan lang natin again is A, B, and C. So, your A is 1, based dun sa ating given. At yung ating C is negative 3. Okay? All over 2, copy. And then your A is 1. So, ayun, pinalitan na natin. Now, after nating mapalitan lahat ng values ng A, B, and C, so ito na siya, so solve na natin, okay? So, again, lahat ng hindi, isosolve, copy lang. So, bring down si, ito si X na ngayon, so si X isosolve natin. Negative times positive 2 is negative 2, copy plus minus, copy square root, so 2 squared mga anak is 4, and then ito, itong tatlong to mga anak, since that is multiplication, pwede nyo nang idiretso ng multiply yan. So, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and then, i-times nyo na agad sa negative 3. So, negative 4, di ba ito mga anak? Ang sagot natin dito ay negative 4. So, i-multiply naman natin siya dito sa negative 3. So, negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. Okay? So, i-multiply nyo lang yung tatlong yan. All over 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, ayan. So, unti-unti na natin na-solve. Next, copy, negative 2, copy plus minus, copy square root. Ang i-simplify natin ito muna. So, 4 plus 12 is 16 all over 2. Ayan, di ba madali lang naman kasi nga mag-solve lang tayo unti-unti. So, continue ko dito. Copy lang ulit si negative 2. This time, ano ang square root ng 16? So, alam nyo na yun. Square root ng 16 is positive negative 4. Di ba when we say square root number na kapag tinimes natin, dalawang best by itself, the answer will be 16. And alam natin that is 4. Kasi 4 times 4 is 16. And then copy over 2. Okay? So, as you can see mga anak, meron ulit tayong dalawang value dito. Dalawa ang value ng ating 4. Therefore, papaghiwalayin natin. Okay? Yung isa ay negative 2, just copy. Positive si 4, and then copy lang si over 2. Okay? Next, yung isa naman, copy pa rin si negative 2. Pero in this case, negative naman si 4. And then, all over 2. Again, kukopyahin nyo lang lahat ng kasama niya. Ang papaghiwalayin nyo lang is yung value ng 4 kasi nga isang positive at isang negative. And then, continue na natin yung pagsasolve. Negative 2 plus 4, different sign, subtract. So, 2, and then get the sign of the higher number. Mas malaki si 4, positive, kaya po positive si 2. Again, pag positive, pwede nyo nang hindi isulat, okay? And then, copy over 2. Next. So, 2 divided by 2, napakadali lang. So, that is 1. Okay, next, dito naman tayo. Negative 2 minus 4. So, dahil same sign yan, add and then keep the sign. So, therefore, negative 6 all over 2. And then you divide. Negative 6 divided by 2. Pag nagdi-divide tayo ng magkaiba ng sign, always negative. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So, that is the second value of your x. Okay? So, ayan na yun. So, our x is isang positive 1 at isang negative 3. Diba madali lang kapag using the quadratic formula? At ang kagandahan pa nito mga anak, ang quadratic formula ay magagamit natin sa kahit na anong uri ng equation. Unlike doon sa iba, kunyari sa factoring, di ba? Paano kung hindi naman siya factorable? So, hindi natin siya magagamit. Doon naman sa ating extracting, so, commonly nagagamit lang natin siya kung wala tayong linear term o kaya perfect square siya. What if hindi naman siya perfect square? So, something like that. So, ang kagandahan nito, using the quadratic formula, sa lahat ng uri ng equation, pwede natin siyang i-apply. Okay? So, sana tandaan natin yung step by step. Next example na tayo. Solve the following using the quadratic formula. So, this one, let's solve. Kung natatandaan nyo pa, first step natin, at yung given is kailangan natin kuhanin yung kanyang standard form. So, SF, hindi yan shipping fee ha, standard form. So, standard form natin, we have, nasa unahan ng quadratic term, x squared, plus, sumunod yung ating linear term, 4x, at syempre, kailangan constant yung sumunod. So, ililipat ko si 5 doon sa left side. So, from positive, tatawid ng equal sign, magiging negative na si 5 is equal to 0. Okay? So, since meron na kayong standard form, identify naman natin the values of A, B, and C. Okay? So, your A in this case, yung numerical coefficient ni x squared, nawawala. So, therefore, alam natin na yun po ay 1. Next, your B naman is the numerical coefficient or katabi ni x, that is positive 4. And your C is your constant. In this case, that is negative 5. Okay? Now, napiyok-piyok na naman ako. Again, nakuha na natin yung standard form. Identify the values of A, B, and C. Next is, isa-substitute na natin yan doon sa ating quadratic formula. So, ano yung quadratic formula natin? So, we have x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, ito yung quadratic formula natin. Now, sa-substitute na natin yung mga values, one by one. So, copy ulit si x, copy si equal, copy si negative, and then your b is 4. Mga anak, tatandaan din lagi pag nagpapalit tayo ng variables a, b, and c, don't forget to write a parenthesis, okay? So, lahat ng hindi papalitan or lahat ng a, b, and c, kukopyahin nyo lang, okay? So, si b, papalitan. Your b is 4. So, 4, and then copy squared. Copy minus, copy si 4, and then si a, papalitan. Your a is 1. And then si c, papalitan. Then your c in our given is negative 5. Okay? So, wala pa akong sinusolve mga anak ha. Pinapalitan ko pa lang lahat ng mga a, b, and c, yung value nila. So, copy si 2, your a is 1. Okay? And now, after nating mapalitan yung mga value, magsasolve na tayo. One by one. Okay? So, again, copy si x, copy si equal. So, negative times 4 is negative 4. Copy plus minus, copy square root. So, 4 squared is 16. O mga anak, hindi yan 8 ha. Hindi po yan 4 times 2. Hindi yan magkatabi. So, ang ibig sabihin ng exponent, kung ilang beses imumultiply yung base sa kanyang sarili. So, dalawang beses nyo lang imumultiply si 4 by itself. So, 4 times 4, and that is 16. Okay? So, etong tatlong to, itong multiplication na to, mga anak, pwede nyo na yan pag-multiplyin sabay-sabay. Teka, iba lang ako ng color ng pen. So, we have, isa-isahin ko pa rin kung hindi kayo sanay. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then, i-multiply nyo rin sa negative 5. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. Okay? So, ang ilalagay ko dito ay positive 20. Again, imumultiply nyo lang tong tatlo. Kung nahihirapan kayo ng sabay-sabay, ganito, mag-scratch kayo. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. Okay? Next, all over 2 times 1. So, ito is 2. Okay? So, continue. So, your x is equal to, o anak, yung mga hindi nyo isosolve, kopyahin nyo lang ng kopyahin ha. Plus, minus, square root of 16 plus 20 is 36 all over 2. Okay, next. So, we have x is equal to, kailangan na pagkasya natin, negative 4 plus minus, what is the square root of 36? So, that is 6 all over 2. Okay? O, next. Next step, so alam natin mga anak na dalawa yung value ng ating 6, isang positive at isang negative. So, papaghiwalayin natin. Okay? Maglagay lang ako ng division dito. So, yung isa, x is equal to negative 4 plus 6 all over 2. Again, lahat ng mga kasama niya, kukopihin nyo lang. Dito naman, copy pa rin si negative 4, pero in this case, negative naman si 6 all over 2. Okay? O anak, kaya ko iniiba-iba yung color ng pen para alam nyo na yung next, yun pala yung next process, parang ganun, okay? So, your x is equal to negative 4 plus 6, different sign yan mga anak, therefore you need to subtract, and then you will get the sign of the higher number. In this case, mas malaki si 6. So, your 2 is positive. Again, pag positive, anak, pwede nyo nang hindi isulat, okay? And then, copy over 2. Next, ito naman tayo sa kabila. So, x is equal to negative 4 minus 6, same sign, so therefore add, and then you will keep the sign, negative, all over 2. Okay? Next, so x is equal to, so ito na yung ating answer, positive 2 divided by 2, pareha silang positive, so therefore positive 1. Saan po nang galing yung 1? 2 divided by 2. Okay, so ito na po yung ating first value ng x. And then the second value naman, x is equal to negative 10 divided by 2. Kung mapapansin nyo, magkaiba yung sign. So kapag nagdi-divide tayo, pag magkaiba yung sign, laging negative. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So ito na po yung ating second value ng ating x. So again, your first value of x is positive 1. The other value is negative 5. Okay, o di ba madali lang? Mukha lang siyang mahirap kasi medyo mahaba pero madali lang. Okay, so next example na tayo. And I think this is the last example. Okay, this one. Ayan. So again, unang step, standard form. Okay? So your standard form is x squared. Nasa unahan yung ating quadratic term. So si linear term yung sunod. So kailangan yung itawid doon. So from positive x, magiging negative si x. At si constant, itatawid din natin doon sa kabila. So therefore, magiging negative din si 6 is equal to 0. Okay? Anak, hindi ko na ito tinuturo talaga ng totally ha, kasi ito po ay nasa pinakaunang lesson natin about illustrations of quadratic equation. Kaya I believe alam nyo na yan. Okay? Next. Identify naman natin the values of A, B, and C. So, your A is positive 1. Your B is negative 1. Di ba pag walang nakalagay invisible? So, negative 1. Anak, tandaan ha, kung sino yung nasa kaliwa niyang sign, sa kanya yon. Okay? Kaya po negative si 1. And your C is your constant. So, negative 6. Okay? So, next, substitute natin doon sa ating quadratic formula. So, your quadratic formula, x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Next, palitan na natin lahat ng mga value. So, x is equal to, copy si negative, mga anak, and then papalitan si b. Okay? Your b, mga anak, is negative 1. Common mistake kasi ng mga bata dito, 1 na lang yung sinusulat. Mali na agad yun. Kasi as you can see, di ba sabi ko, lahat ng hindi papalitan ko, kopyahin. So, kinopya ko na si negative, tapos si b papalitan, ang b natin is negative 1. So, ano ipapalit nyo kay b? Negative 1 din. Okay? So, common mistake ng mga bata dyan, hindi na nailalagay si negative. So, mag-ingat sa mga ganong error, ha? So, copy plus minus, square root of, your b again is negative 1, and then squared, minus 4, your a is positive 1, and your c is negative 6. Okay? All over 2, your a is 1. Now, wala pa akong sinolve. Ginawa ko lang mga anak is pinalitan lang yung values ng A, B, and C. So, continue ko dito. So, your x is equal to, eto, dahil magkatabi yan, may parenthesis, multiplication. So, negative times negative, alam natin na positive. Kasi pag nagmumultiply tayo ng same sign always, positive. So, positive 1. Copy. Plus, minus, square root of. So, negative 1 squared is positive 1. Ma'am, kala ko negative 2. O, mali na naman kayo kasi tinimes nyo itong dalawang to. Ang ibig sabihin na ganito is negative 1 times negative 1, and that is positive 1. So, i-multiply nyo na itong tatlong to sabay-sabay. So, negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And then, negative 4 times negative 6 is positive 24. Okay? All over 2 times 1, and that is 2. So, next. So, copy ulit. Ibahin ko ulit ng color ng pen para alam nyo na ito na yung next step natin. So, copy ulit. X is equal to, copy lang si 1 mga anak. Ang isosolve natin is yung kaya pang isolve. Is equal to 1 plus 24 is 25. All over 2. Okay, so solve ulit. So we have x is equal to, copy lang ulit si 1. Positive, negative. Ano ang square root ng 25? So 5. All over 2. Okay, since meron ulit tayong dalawang value ng ating 5, which is positive and negative, papaghiwalayin ulit natin. Okay? So, yung isa ay positive 5, yung isa ay negative 5. So, x is equal to 1. Dito ay positive si 5, and then copy lang yung mga ibang kasama. Tapos dito naman ay negative naman si 5. Copy lang si 1, negative naman si 5 in this case, all over 2. Again, copy lang lahat ng kasama. Ang papag-ibahin nyo lang ay yung value ni 5. Next. So, solve natin. So, this will be x is equal to 1 plus 5 is 6, all over 2. Ang kabila naman, x is equal to, kung pag walang nakalagay, understood that is positive. So, magkaiba ang sign, Sabi sa kanta, different sign subtract, so that is 4. And then get the sign of the higher number, so get negative all over 2. Okay, next. Napikpik na naman ako. Next. So we have x is equal to. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So ito na po yung ating first value ng x. And then the second value naman ni x ay negative 4 divided by 2. Different sign ang pinagdi-divide natin. So alam natin na laging negative. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. So ito na po yung ating second value ng ating x. O diba? Napakadali lang. Mahaba lang mga anak pero mas madali compare sa completing. Tama? Sa factoring naman kung hindi tayo sanay na sanay mag-factor. So, much better na gamitin natin to kahit mahaba, at least, hindi tayo mahirapan mag-isip. Okay? So, pero, mga anak, pwede nyo gamitin alinman sa 4. So, dito ko na tatapusin yung video natin. So, reviewin na lang to sa bahay, panoodin para ma-familiarize kayo kung paano natin yung ginagawa. So, kung nakatulong ang video na ito sa inyo, guys, syempre, don't forget to like this video. Mag-comment na rin po ng simpleng thank you. And syempre, guys, kung bago ka pa lang sa channel ni Teacher Camille, ano pang iniintay? Syempre mag-subscribe na para updated kayo sa mga bagong video na i-upload po ni Teacher Camille. So again, maraming salamat. This is Teacher Camille once again saying goodbye!